we have the current stock market analysis for SoFi Technologies Incorporated, stock ticker SOFI. Before we begin, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders will be able to find this information more easily on the platform. So as we can see here, this is the daily price chart. Each candle on this price chart represents a full day's trading period. And we have some important support and resistance levels outlined on this chart. Here we will be going over explaining why each of these levels are important and hopefully identify some profitable trading scenarios and strategies for this stock going forward. So as we can see here, the share price itself did manage to actually close above the this near-term price target that we were looking at, which was just above the $7.70 mark. In the video from yesterday, we were trading into the close. We weren't quite there yet. And the stock was trading well off of that level into the close. And it wasn't looking likely that we would be able to see the share price close above this 770 mark on a daily basis and also the weekly basis because this was the Friday trading session. But the stock did actually manage to do this. There was a bit of a run in the final portions of the trading day. We did actually see some fairly strong trading volumes into the close, as we can see here. Of course, these don't exactly match the prior selling pressure trading volumes that we were seeing previously, but these are fairly strong on their own. Considering that this is, we're still kind of in the summer trading period, and this was a Friday trading session. Overall, this was a fairly strong close into the end of the week, and I do think that this was a fairly impressive performance for the stock. Into that trading period. So as we can see here, this price zone did close above this 770 level, and we will explain why that is important specifically. So again, this is the daily price chart, and as we can see, this green candle here does close with a very full body, which means that we are closing right at the highs. That on its own is a positive signal. But then in addition to that, we can see that the share price did manage to close above this green line here, this sort of light green line. This area is the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement of the most recent declining move. So essentially what that means is that we're looking at the price high at $8.30. We're extending that price movement in the downward direction to the near-term lows, which came in at $6.75. And then from there, we can see that the 61.8% retracement comes in just right around the 770 mark. As I said, it was not looking like the stock would be able to close above that area, because there was a pretty good amount of distance that the stock would need to cover to get there in a relatively short period of time. But there was a surge toward the end of the day, and the stock price did actually manage to close right near its highs. So all of those on its own would be positive signals. But then, in addition to that, we are breaking above this key Fibonacci retracement zone as well, and closing above there. So these are positive signs, and this does set the stock on a very strong footing to start trading next week. The other reason that this is mostly important is because this near-term price movement to the downside failed to retest these prior lows in the lower sixes, roughly 615 to 601 is where we were seeing sharp price movements to the downside in the past, and this recent price movement into 675 did manage to find some fairly strong support right in that area. So overall, to the downside here, this is starting to suggest that share price support is starting to develop at higher and higher levels. So that is a bullish scenario, and it does suggest that share price movements to the downside could start to become more and more limited, or at least smaller in size. So that's a positive scenario. If we look at the indicator reading, we can see that the longer-term trajectory here does remain positive. There has been some negative movement here in the stock. We can't really deny that. The stock has had some rocky trading periods ever since those highs above the $8 mark were initially posted. But we can still see that the longer term trajectory here has remained intact, and this does seem to be what is supporting the share price action overall. This can largely be attributed to, the reasoning behind this sequence of higher lows that we have been seeing in the price chart. So roughly 601 moving into 675. We can largely give credit to the relative strength index momentum reading here, because this is what is likely generating this movement to the top side and this inability for bearish selling pressure to extend much further lower. So, overall, this is a positive framework here, and we are starting to see, some development of a better trading trend momentum that is starting to develop after share prices have seen a series of lows that fell quite sharply after posting some fairly significant highs. So we have to remember that, this stock is susceptible to seeing price failures right around this $8 mark. So as we can see here, this $8.06 high that was posted on July 18, this did ultimately result in share prices that were more than $2 lower. This occurred in a very short period of time. So when you're dealing with an $8 stock, a $2 movement, $2 plus movement is very significant in percentage terms. And then, we also have to consider the fact that, we can be seeing, the potential here for false breakouts to the top side as well. This movement into $8.30 really didn't have much follow through. We saw follow through of roughly 25 cents relative to those $8.06 highs, and you would really expect to see more than that when you're seeing a tremendous round of buying activity, such as the series of events that occurred when share prices moved out of that $6.01 level. So, the potential for false breakouts here is still clear and somewhat obvious, but at the moment, I would have to say that the balance of the evidence here still has to favor the top side, because the majority of the price movement here has been occurring, above this $8 mark rather than toward this $6 mark. So, as we can see, there's a lot more activity up here than there is down here. The rejections from this lower $6 area have been quite sharp, and now that we're starting to see these these higher lows develop at $6.75. This does suggest that the momentum reading, the positive momentum reading, longer term momentum reading on the relative strength index indicator really is the prevailing market condition here, and that share prices still have the potential to move higher. So ultimately, the main levels to watch here are $6.75 and $8.30. At the moment, we're starting to develop a bit of a range in that area. But a break to the top side from $8.30 would likely put us right back at the prior highs from the end of February, which came in just above the $9 mark. So here's the current stock market analysis for SoFi Technologies Incorporated, stock ticker SOFI. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market, lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.